What's up, everybody? Welcome to Power Hour with me and Giles Tiger Thomas. We've got a lot to talk about. The Miracle Bear, Urs Kalecinski, blew us all away by winning his open bodybuilding debut, which I didn't see it coming. You didn't see it coming. You were being a doubting Thomas. I was being a doubting Harris. But look at this, man. I mean, who would have thought somebody could go from 227 pounds to probably close to 260 in less than a year, maintain the condition, and I personally like his physique so much better now. Full disclosure, I was not a huge fan of Urs's classic physique. I loved him as a person. I loved his presentation, certain body parts, but I always thought he was a little narrow in the shoulders. The arms were a problem for me. The back was a problem for me. And this version of Urs, Giles, wow, because let's remind people, this was less than a year ago. This was the Olympia, October 2024. Not a huge guy. This is a guy that you think one-off season's not going to be enough for him to be an open contender, to do any damage in an open show. Yeah, I'll open the floor to you now, Giles. Go ahead. If you can hear me.
Hang on a sec, Ron. Is that the microwave? I think that's the microwave, mate. I think that's my hat. I'm about to eat it.
Well, what were your predictions? I think we said, probably top five. I think we were thinking top five based on shape, condition, presentation. No?
Mate, I didn't even have it in my top five. In fact, on the Sunday morning, I had it in my head. I get these visions, and 99% of the time, they usually bang on. I was like, I've got a feeling Urs is going to be 8th place. I've got a feeling he's going to be beat by all the other German guys, Tim Buddersheim, Matthias Hollweg. Who's the other one? Who's the other one? There's another one. Emir Omaragic. I thought, I just don't see this happening. So, yeah, I was unbelievably shocked because, like I said, in 30 years, I don't think I've ever seen quite something like this. I know like I said, 2001, 2002, Ronnie came in 2002, 2003, Ronnie came in 40 pounds heavier, but over half of that was muscle he lost in the last 4 weeks before he did the Olympia in 2002. So not a lot of it was new muscle. Same with Dorian, 92 to 93. He lost some size in 92 to really go for condition. So a lot of it was regained size that he didn't lose during those last few weeks of prep. But with Urs, I didn't see this one coming, mate. I've got to hold my hands up to this one. And the thing is, like I said to you, I genuinely like being proved wrong. I was so excited on the Sunday when I saw that he'd done this. And I was like, holy shit, the kid's gone and done it. And the thing is, I was looking at the social media. I was looking at, I saw some footage of him in Italy. And in his clothes, he just looked the same sort of size. And I thought, I don't see a guy that's claiming to be 35 pounds heavier. You'd be able to see it. Right. So, and the thing is, like last year, I didn't like his classic look. I preferred it in 2023. So for him to make the switch, because I think 22 and 23, I felt like he had his best classic physique. Because remember, classic and bodybuilding should be judged differently. And for me, I have a different criteria. But for open bodybuilding, I think this was the right move because clearly his body wanted to grow. Clearly he was having to diet off a lot of tissue. But do you want me to get to the I thought all the plus sides? Do you want me to get to the negatives or the constructive critique? Or
yeah, I mean, obviously he's a work in progress. I don't think anyone. Yeah, I do hear people saying top 5 Olympia. I'm like, ho, slow your roll, guys. No, not yet. Give him the guy just did his first open show. Come on.
Yeah. He can still get a lot more detailed and a lot harder from the back. Now, the problem is, I realize some of the fans will be saying I'm completely crazy. But the thing is, if you look at the footage that was put out online, footage of the live stream and people posting straight from the video, a lot of it was sharpened up.
Yes.
I don't know whether you noticed. I did. I saw, they're sharpened up. And in those videos, yes, he looks absolutely insane. But I waited till Jonathan Morio's photo, the high resolution shots, which are unfiltered. I waited till they came out. So if you go to them and zoom in, you'll see that he's actually not that hard from the back. So it means he can still get a lot better. So I do expect him. I'd love to see him 3-4 pounds lighter in Germany this weekend because from the front and the side, full bursting full, thick, round, dense, a lot of thickness, good condition. But from the back, he can get a lot more detailed, mate. I mean, there was quite a bit on his back to come off. I mean, if you, like I said, if you want me to prove it, go to Jonathan Morio's shots.
I'm going there right now because I'm so glad that I didn't even know he was there. Thank God, because I didn't see any all the pictures I was seeing were just iPhone pictures from like the third row.
But the thing with Jonathan, he posts them really fast. So it's not like he's there editing each one and trying to filter them and sharpen them. It's like I've seen him. I've been sat next to him when he's at the show, and he puts this thing in his phone and he selects them all and he uploads them, and then he gets back to photograph. Because like I said, I used to be a photographer. You don't have time. He doesn't have somebody helping him. He literally does it on the fly. In between categories or whatever. So, but if you go down, if you go to the shots. Have a look at the back shot, because I zoomed right in, Ron, and he can get a lot sharper from the back. So it's good because it means then he's got something he can fix and improve on in a week. It wasn't so much those shots. Well, any shots really from Morio.
Oh, these are great shots.
I mean, look at the other shot. Go back the front shot. Go two back. You can see even around his midsection, like that there. That looks a little bit watery to me. He's not exactly as dry and shredded as he looked on the sharpened up videos. Basically, that is my point. So it kind of makes it exciting for Germany this weekend, and it also makes it exciting for the Olympia, because he's going to look at that with Stefan and all his team, and they're going to say, guys, how can we get better for the Olympia? How can we crack that top 10 in our first go? And I think, I mean, anyone with a good set of eyes is going to say, look, you need to get a little bit harder from the back. You need to get crisper. We've done this. I mean, I don't know what his body weight was on stage. I maybe he didn't even weigh himself, but it looks considerable. But I'd like to see him drop a few pounds to get that condition. I know you can do quite a bit in a week, but I think for the Olympia, if he really wants some kind of second call out, because I don't think he's a first call out guy yet. No. But I think the second call out, to keep out of that third and fourth call outs, he's going to have to sharpen up from the back.
I wonder, did Jonathan do any video? Because he's got that 4K kind of video when he does.
I don't know. There's quite a few videographers there.
Yeah. So here's now. There's been some really good. There's been a lot of references to Dorian Yates comparing. Don't laugh. This is true. They've been saying, and I do see some similarities. Some
same hair.
Same hair. No, he needs a back. He needs to be a lot thicker front to back in general, chest and back, I think. And the tries still need to come up. But I could see like a comparison to a young Dorian. I mean, he's only 26.
I think we forget that, don't we? I think that's something we need to remind ourselves of, that he is 26. I mean, that's why I think maybe subconsciously, that's why I didn't see what happening. I just didn't see it happening. I was literally, we go upon our experience and what we've seen in the past from thousands of athletes, pros and amateur. And I just, I really did not see this one coming. So, but in terms of the similarities to Dorian, if you squint, I kind of get it, like a young Dorian maybe, but let's not forget how good Dorian was. And obviously, I'm going to obviously say the obvious, Dorian from the back. You can't really compare Urs from the back and Dorian from the back, because Dorian basically won some of his Olympias purely on what he was delivering from the back. That's why he beat guys like Nasser and Dillette, and and that's why people like Sean Ray and Kevin Navarone came close to him, because they were that conditioned and detailed top to toe from the ears to their ankles. But personally, I wouldn't say. I think I was arguing with someone online actually, and then I looked at his profile and I thought, oh, he's a young kid, and he obviously wasn't even alive when Dorian was around. I saw Dorian on stage. You saw Dorian on stage.
Yeah.
So we know how good he was. And I think his photos didn't even do him justice. But I'll kind of give him. I understand why people are referencing that, but personally, he's not there yet.
Yeah, I do want to say, like I said, I like this version of Urs better, not just because I don't believe that bigger is always better. I think better is better. But as a classic guy, I saw so many issues that like the shoulders. His delts are double the size now that they were as a classic guy. Uh-huh. His arms, his biceps are much bigger. Even his triceps, which, as someone born without triceps, I cringe when I see people that have triceps that lag behind. They've come up quite a bit. He's a work in progress. And like I said, another thing I want to commend him on, he's the only person that didn't post any update videos or photos in the lead up. So he was doing what Dorian did, the shadow. You didn't see Dorian. He was all covered up, and then boom, you'd see him on stage, and your jaw would drop. And that's why we were full of doubt. That's why we were saying, I don't know, 30 pounds in 1 year, and he's going to be in condition. I don't know.
Didn't see it.
Yeah, I've never seen that happen before, and this was the best surprise. This is akin to, was it 2022 when Derek Lunsford guest posed in Pittsburgh and everyone freaked out?
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's a fair comparison, actually. Yeah, because I mean, we were like the shock. What I had from Urs on Sunday was like the shock. In fact, the Chris Cormier's guy who does his messaged me and he said, "Bro," he says, "Urs looks insane." He texted me, "WhatsApp me," and I looked at the picture and I went, "Oh my god, I was completely wrong." But what do you think about the rumors? I know people on Instagram are annoying, but what do you think about people saying that he's got suspicious-looking biceps? What's your take on that?
I don't think so. Well, you know what? He never had a bunch of splits and crevices and striations in his biceps anyway.
Yeah.
It's not like he lost them. Well, let's take a good look. I don't think so. Who knows? You can never rule it out because people inject things all the time, and if you go deep enough in the muscle, but they don't look suspect to me. They're perfectly same shape from one side to the other.
I know it's only one photo, but looking at that photo, you can, like, if you showed that to Dorian and said, "Dorian, people are comparing him to you," Dorian would just roll his eyes and say he's got a few pounds to come off yet, mate.
Oh yeah, I mean, and I've been reading his posts, and Urs is pushing for better condition.
Good.
That's one reason. He was going to do Germany anyway. For him not to do Germany would be ridiculous. Whether he won the show or didn't, it's his home country, and it gives him and Stefan one more peak week with this new mass to figure things out before they go to the Olympia, so they can make notes on what works and what doesn't. But I agree. I think he could sharpen up a couple more pounds for sure, 2 or 3 pounds.
So say he takes off 5 or 6 pounds for the Olympia. Do you think he's a top 10 threat?
Top 10, sure.
Yeah, but come on, mate. Look who we've got. Look who's in this Olympia. If you bring up the list and we went through it and actually took, say, 5-10 minutes to go through it, take point by point, I think you'd. I mean, yes, no respect. This was a fantastic lineup, but we're talking about the Olympia here, mate.
I agree.
Have you seen the updates from some of these athletes? I mean, what we're seeing and actually how many names are going to be at their best ever and be nowhere near the top 10. I mean, let's be realistic. Let's not get overexcited here. Personally, I'd like to see him at his best. So I'm curious to see if that would make a dent in the top 10. If he could beat the guys like Tony O'Burton, Akin Williams, because I tell you what, I've never really been a Regan fan, but I'm telling you, I'm quite impressed with what I'm seeing from Regan recently. There's something new coming from him, coming down the pipeline. And I think he might maintain his top 10. And you got guys like Brandon Curry, you got William Bonac, who looks like he's just getting better and better as the year goes on, and he's had a fantastic year. So let's just sort of rein it in a little bit. I think top 15, if he came in with a really beautifully crisp, sharp back. Because thing is, I was thinking about this as well. When I first saw the footage and I started studying all the Mario photos, I think I don't want to it's my Lunsford syndrome, where everyone thinks that person's in condition because they've got shredded glutes.
True.
Because guys now are training and they're developing and really doing so much to get the shredded glutes and the hams. It's like people were saying, "Oh, Samson," at the guest posing, "Samson looked better here than he did at stage at Olympia." It's like, don't be fooled just because his hams and his glutes are more conditioned. Because these guys will be like, I'm not saying you can spot reduce, but they'll be doing what they can to get those areas in condition. They'll go overboard on it. But then if you actually zoom in and look at the rest of them, it's I think people get carried away. And I think Lunsford's one of those because, remember the days when people were conditioned, they were conditioned from the front, they were conditioned from the back, they were conditioned from head to toe. They didn't have areas of the physique that was conditioned and other areas that had no detail, like Derek. Derek's arms, his chest, but then his glutes and his hams are shredded. And people automatically think, "Oh my God, look at his condition." It's like, yeah, well, if you actually really scrutinize the physique from top to toe, from every angle, you might, like I said, don't get overexcited by the shredded glutes. And I think Urs has got that as well, because I wasn't that impressed with his conditioning from the back, but yes, his glutes are shredded.
Yeah, I mean, you could see some of the back shots. It's a little bit of film or something on the actual back.
It's fat.
It's fat, but the glutes are completely dry and shredded. It's very odd.
It is, because the thing is, when you see it, like that's the first thing I think almost people are looking for in terms of condition, and I think the athletes have exploited that. over the last few years, because now, you know, like in all categories. I remember with women's physique, I remember like looking at top sixes, and if you didn't have shredded glutes, you weren't in the top six. It doesn't matter how the rest of your physique looked. And I think sometimes we put a bit too much onus on having shredded glutes, and then you look at the rest of the physique, and we kind of overlook the fact that there's bits of their physique that isn't also as detailed in the shred. It's basically my point I'm trying to make.
So that doesn't make any sense to me, because from my own experience, and I don't know, it seems to be most men across the board, the glutes are the very last place to lose fat from. When I know that my whole body used to be shredded to the bone, and it would still take me another 5 to 8 pounds to get the glutes in. Whereas,
yeah, mine too. My ass was so full of Winstrol though. I spent so much Winstrol in my ass because obviously I practice what I preach. I never pin my delts, which a lot of guys are doing nowadays. So I think people are doing that now because I think they're just taking more gear and more frequently. And I think they just literally can't pin their asses every single day. And I get it, but I still hate it.
I mean, that oil has got to go somewhere. But yeah, there are people, and I have seen them, their glutes can be shredded, dry, all kinds of striations, and you'll still see a little bit of fat on the lower back or in the mid back, or the hamstrings aren't really that dialed in.
I have a theory.
Yeah, what is that theory? I'd love to hear it.
I have a theory. Look, think about it 20, 25 years ago. What did the guys do for cardio?
Jogging? I don't know. Treadmill?
No, think about, say, Ronnie, Dorian. What was the standard? What was the two things they know? Not even that recent. Like literally 20, 25, 30 years ago. What was it?
The Stairmaster, the step mill.
No, they never did the treadmill, the step mill 25, 30 years ago. That was kind of more the Phil Heath era.
Oh, I mean, Ronnie.
Did you ever, I don't think I did once or twice see Ronnie on the step mill, but it was always on his treadmill in his bedroom. And it would be on the flat, and there'd be no tension on his glutes and his hams. And then what kind of the Phil Heath era came in, and obviously the conditioning in those areas was absolutely crucial if you wanted to succeed. And everyone was on the stepper. I remember Phil saying, slow stepper, with big strides every 45 minutes will really bring the condition in your legs, in your glutes, your hamstrings. I know I'm going to catch some shit for this, but I'm telling you what, this is something I've been observing. And it's something now, because how do you explain Samson having shredding glutes, but the rest of his body not even in the same condition that he was in the Olympia last year, but those areas at 6 weeks out are in better condition? How would you explain that?
Just a different body fat distribution for him.
The body just decides to do something different this year. Right? I'm going to take fat off my ass first instead of last. Come on, Ron.
So,
do you think it's anti-estrogens?
I don't. Well, I know in my case, I had to use aromatase inhibitors at the very end, or else my glutes never came in. My glutes and hams stayed kind of blurry unless I did the AIs and a diuretic at the end, which was disastrous. But that's what it took for me. I don't know if that's just my personal experience or if you could apply that across the board.
When I wanted my legs to get in condition, I would apply a second leg day, but it'd be like a light, instead of heavy basic movements like squats, leg press, and everything else. I used to do things like glute ham hypers where I'd squeeze. I do leg extensions, higher reps, peak contraction. I used to do slow negative leg press with my toes off the platform. And within literally 2 to 3 weeks, my legs would be deeply separated and ripped. And that was even before all the fat had come off. So there is ways to train, and I think do cardio and also things with I think anti-estrogens as well, because that's why women have to take them who compete in various categories have to take them the last 4 weeks, because the women, with their hormones, basically they hold body fat and water in those areas, and they save the anti-estrogens for right at the last minute to basically kill the estrogen and get the condition in those areas. I mean, that's kind of an unwritten rule, isn't it?
Yeah, but I mean, also what you were talking about from what you did sounds like spot reduction.
No, I think it was developing certain types of the muscle as well. I just, like I said, because my first show I had the triangle glutes and I had the separated hamstrings, but it was all like sort of peak contraction, different ways of training rather than just heavy basic movements, Yeah. So anyway, that was my personal experience. Anyway,
let's recap Italy real quick because we're going to move on to Germany. It's all the same people with a couple additions and just a 1 or 2 subtractions from. It's a 30-man lineup in Germany, but this was the final call out and confirmation round. Very, very, very strong top 5 with Urs, Quint, Mark Hector, Sergio Oliva Jr., and Lewis Breed. I was happy to see Lewis up there.
He looks amazing.
Did you agree with the way the top 5 were placed?
I had Lewis Breed ahead of Sergio purely on his density and his condition. I get that Sergio has a better structure and his condition was good. Yeah. But I just think my eyes kept going to Lewis, especially in those back shots. I mean, his side, his back shots. I know he doesn't have the most aesthetic physique from the front, in the frontal bicep, the front lat spread, but the side and the back shots, I thought he looked, I liked the density, the conditioning, that kind of Branch Warren, Dorian thickness, density, that granite look. But I mean, it wasn't like I wasn't like appalled by it. I mean, I thought Sergio looked fantastic. I think it was the best I've seen him for a while. But yeah, I did have fourth and fifth swapped.
Yeah, I could see that. Sergio, who is not doing the Germany show, I don't know why. He posted. We can look at it maybe. He posted photos where he looked a lot better a few hours before. He decided. Yeah, he did. He decided to eat more. I don't know if that was his own decision or Boss of Outlaws, but his midsection did get a little bloated. He smoothed out a little bit of spillover. I don't know how much difference it would have made. He wasn't going to beat. Urs was winning this.
How many times have we heard that? Oh, you should have seen me a few hours before, and I just roll my eyes, to be honest, mate. I'm that long in the tooth with this. I mean, yes, I've seen how a body can change, but not drastically, and not with the same guys using the same kind of excuses over and over.
Yeah.
God, I'm going to get some hate on it. I get some hate this week.
No, it's a cliche in bodybuilding. It's a cliche. We've heard it before.
Should have seen me last night. Oof.
Or the day after, but it's usually you should have seen me yesterday or Wednesday. I was looking perfect.
Look, I think Sergio looked good. I'd love to see more chest and back. Because his legs are great, his arms are great, shoulders are great, but and his structure, shoulder to waist, is beautiful. Yeah. He's got those nice big full calves, nice kind of X frame, but the chest and back, I just wish it had a bit more pop.
Oh, I agree. I mean, it's anybody that has the strong limbs. You immediately notice if the chest and back aren't at the same level. And, it's the same thing with Urs. Urs's chest could be better and his back could definitely be better. But the legs are phenomenal on Urs. Go ahead.
The thing is with Urs, his lats from the front are beautiful. I mean, when he has a front lat spread or a front double bicep, or even especially the ab and thigh, the way his lats flare out is absolutely. I mean, it's to be honest, that makes that pose. I mean, look at the other guys; they don't have that same. Quint's got a bit, nice kind of like lines, but your eyes are immediately drawn to Urs because he's got those nice big, thick, chunky, actually Dorian type lats from the front. It's just from the back. You could see he needs more width, more detail, just basically more. Just means needs more of everything, more development. But like you said, if he's 26, 27 or whatever. I mean, the fact that he's already at this point and he's beating guys at this caliber on the first one out, and he won it straight first as well. It was a straight score.
Yeah.
Then that's incredible. Also, do you want to talk about the straight scoring again? Because I saw that on the score sheet. You notice that?
Sure. I mean, you could. I mean, yeah, I saw that. Well, I mean, so he got a score of a 3 in the judging and a score of 3 in the finals, which means so there was 5. I assume that means there were 5 judges.
I don't know how many there were.
Because don't they drop a high and a low?
They do. But if you look at every single placing, 1 to 15, every judge was unanimous.
Oh, well, that's good. They were.
When does that ever? I've seen that happen more and more. And to tell you what, you never see that happen when Tyler's judging.
So it was like a hive mind, maybe. They were all kind of thinking the same direction.
I think they're. I think the head judge has a little bit too much say. I
don't know who the head judge was at this show.
Jack Sullivan, fantastic judge, very great reputation. But I just don't. It doesn't. There's something not right about that for me when you see every judge agreeing on every score. I like to see, like it was at Pittsburgh with Nick and Derek. I like to see the scores up and down, because it means that when they're rejudged at night, the judges really are paying attention and they're actually giving their own individual opinion. That's what I want to see. For me, if you're going to have 5-6 judges up there and it's basically hive mind, basically agreeing with wherever the head judge places them or wherever the head judge tells them he wants who to be, I think just have a head judge. Don't even bother. Don't waste the time with the other judges. Fair enough. All right, let's take a look at, we need to get into Germany because it's the last chance to qualify for the Olympia, the 2025 Olympia. And Quint he's hanging out. He's staying over there in, I guess he would have gone back to Samson's house in the interim here in the few days before. So
again, he came up short. He wanted that Olympia qualification. Get rid of this. Sorry, I lost it. Share screen. So let's take a look at him, because my favorite look for him so far was Tampa a few weeks ago.
Yeah, me too.
I thought he looked a little bit flat in some of the shots. From the front, this is the two shots that really bothered me with this front relax, the front lat. Side shots were good. Back shots.
I still don't like his side chest. I still don't like it. It's better. It is better, but for me, I feel like for a guy that size with a frame that big, I feel like he still needs a bit more. Like I look at the front relaxed and I think he just needs another 10 pound on that upper body. You know?
Yeah. No, I agree. He's got such long limbs, kind of like Andrew Jacked. It takes a lot more mass to fill out. But
Ron, that front relax, where does your eyes go to? For me, it just goes to his legs, and his upper body looks like it's not matched. I think what it is, I think his body is getting, obviously because he's been prepping a while, I think his body's getting tired now. Agreed.
I mean, and if I obviously, here I go again. If I were him, I don't know why he's doing Germany. I guess he's already over there. Why not? And a lot of fans want to see him, but his body looks like it's been on prep too long. It's just not responding. It's losing the pop, as we say. He just doesn't have that pop. The fullness is not coming. Back looks really, really shallow here.
Yeah, he is getting better. He's improving. I mean, over last year, he is improving. I love his ab and thigh, but I wish he'd tilt his hips slightly, to give those kind of crazy lines.
Yeah.
Because I think he's got such a beautiful silhouette. He's got such a lovely structure. But he's getting better, but I don't really like that shot on him as well. I think his shoulders overshadow his chest, and I prefer the hand-on hip one. I think, and that lacks detail for me.
Are his trunks different colors? I thought you couldn't do that. Huh. Oh well.
probably the finals. You can do what you want.
Yeah, the finals. They don't care what you do in the finals. Yeah, I mean, I could see here. It's a little bit of film. It's just not. The upper body is just losing separation. What do you think about him? Obviously, this is up to his big brother, Samson. What do you think would happen if he stayed over in UK with Samson for like 4, 5, 6 months? I know, God, that's a long house guest. But do you think that would help him?
No.
As far as no? Okay.
No. Yeah, but it might help Quint and it might hinder Samson. You don't know, or vice versa. You don't know. It might be great for them, or it might be, because if you've got to literally, because I can't imagine he'd still. I know they got this huge house now, but I can't imagine he'd want a house guest for 6 months when you're so used to just being you and your wife and your dog and in your routine. You're conscious of having a house guest. I don't think that would help him. Look, the guy is incredible, Quint, and he's improving. He just needs to go home after this. If he wins here and qualifies, then he just needs to just keep doing what he's doing because he's moving forward. And also the hernia is a little bit distracting, isn't it?
I see it. It's small. I mean, mine's much bigger than that. I didn't even notice it until people started pointing it out to me. It's like size of, it's not even as big as a golf ball. It's like a little acorn. But obviously, if it gets worse, he's going to have that taken care of.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I think I agree. He's made improvements, but I don't think his body can stay in prep for weeks and weeks and weeks without starting to show signs of deterioration. I think that's where he's at right now.
I was expecting major improvements for this show, and in some, I don't know whether I've studied then, and in some pictures I was like, oh, he's better, and other ones I was like, no, he's not even as good as he was like you said at Tampa.
Yeah, I mean Tampa, obviously he was a little bit flat in Tampa. The condition was bang on. Then Texas, he came in noticeably fuller. Condition was less. So like you, I expected, okay, well, this third show, he'll figure it out. He's had people around him like Samson, Marlena, Mauro Sassi. He had some really great advisors around him. I expected this to be the best version we've seen of him out of the 3 shows. And to me, it was the worst. I'm a hater. I'm going to get hate. This was the worst. I preferred either Texas or Tampa to this.
Oh God, okay.
Yeah, here we go.
And he also, when I saw the final, I think the final was only like a couple of hours later, he faded. So he's got to really nail that. Coming out strong and fading, like he said, exactly what happened at Tampa. He came out. If you see the Gilco footage we brought up before on here, when he first came out, he looked amazing, and then he just kind of falls off as the day goes on. So he's got to learn how to come out and somehow hold that peak through the day. Because if it is close and say it's neck and neck, and he comes out better and the other guy doesn't, see that? I mean, the thing is, it is tricky when the lighting's different.
Yeah, this lighting I like this lighting better.
Yeah, I mean, but he looked, I mean, I was like, wow, when he first came out here in Tampa. But see there, and even the front wall bicep, he looks kind of better, I think, at the Attili show. I don't know, it's tricky. It's really tricky.
Well, we have to point out this is Gilco footage too. We were just looking at somebody's iPhone footage. So obviously there's going to be a quality difference, but I like this look a lot. I was very impressed with Quint in Tampa, and still structurally, shape, everything. It's an amazing physique. It's destined to be one of the greats if he can just make the improvements he needs to make. And he's still a young guy. He's still 31, I think. 31.
It's kind of like I said before. He's kind of like that 2022 Samson where we're like, oh, the potential. Look at the potential. Look at the symmetry. Look at the shape. Look at the balance. And I wonder if he can take that next step up and really, and then obviously what Samson did in 23 and 24, is the record books. But I'd love to see. I really want to see Quint do that because he's on the verge of becoming really great, like a really great top level bodybuilder. And I just don't want it to be one of those cases. Another couple of years we're still saying the same thing because new guys are coming in, and you only get so long to make an impact because he's got beautiful genetic shape. He's got beautiful balance, but the real hard conditioning and fullness and stuff that comes down to the density of the muscle, the peaking process. So he really needs to step it up now, I think. But I'm not sure whether keeping on going to just try and go and not make top 15 at Olympia. I'm not sure whether this is a really, really wise thing to do. I would have personally shut it down after Italy. But then again, because he's only going to have to go up against Urs anyway. And I don't see anything. Urs can get better as well. We know that if Urs drops a couple of pounds this week, he's probably going to win Germany. So I'm not sure there's any real benefit.
Oh, here we go. That's
PTSD.
You should make a T-shirt with that benefit.
Yeah. Do you know somebody wanted to make some merch about that? Me saying that.
Oh, I believe it. It's actually not a bad idea. I was hoping
we'll go 50-50, bro, and I'm like, no, I just want to forget the whole thing, Man. So, I mean, in what universe do you think that the roles could be reversed? Do you think Quint could be Urs this week? Do you think there's any chance of that?
Stranger things have happened. I love that phrase. Stranger things have happened.
Look what happened last week with Urs.
I mean, it would be most unusual. It would be highly unusual.
I mean, I'll be running out of hats next week if that happens.
No, I mean, like I said, if it would take, Urs isn't going to get worse. Urs is going to look better. I'm very confident when I say that.
Oh, yes.
And I don't know if Quint is going to. I don't know if his body it's just, I don't like shutting down. Sounds like he's having a medical emergency. I don't think that's the case, but.
He could slip. He could not even get second here because, I mean, Mark Hector was right on his heels here, mate.
Yeah, and Mark's headed to Germany. All these guys are headed to Germany. The only one who's not is Sergio. Yeah, I wanted to talk about Mark. So I was doing some live videos during the day, and people kept knocking on Mark's. One lat is noticeably high. You only see it in the rear lat spread, but one lat comes up much higher than the other. We know he had that shoulder injury and the surgery, and I don't know if that's affecting how he hits the pose, but it was still a very, very strong showing. I mean, third place in this lineup.
My take, I mean, I'll say negatively, I don't like his front wall bicep, but I think that is due purely down to his shape and also the shoulder issue. Because remember when I took Terence Ruffin to Cuba's annual thing, and it was on the last day of the Terence Ruffin Olympia All-Star Tour.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Cuba was on the mic and he was trying to get all his athletes, all the ones he preps in his coaching team, and there's like 100 people there, and a lot of the lads were competing or on prep. So he basically got all of them, stripped them all off, and and they basically went on stage in their underwear and also did like a massive pose down.
Yeah.
Now he was, I think he hinted that Mark was going to be getting up there. Anyway, Mark was kind of sat to my left with Kerry, and he was eating his food, and he walked over and he kind of whispered something to Cuba. And Cuba went, all right then, mate. Okay, don't worry. So anyway, then Mark gets up on stage and he starts going through all the compulsories, and he's doing the Steve Weinberger, calling the compulsories. And in the rear double, he didn't hit a rear double bicep. You know, there was a couple of shots he didn't hit because I think that's what he said to Cuba, that he didn't feel comfortable hitting those shots because of his shoulder mobility. And obviously, when he's on stage and competing, he has to hit those shots.
Yeah.
So, yes, I think that, because like I said, frontal bicep, it's a shame because that's the first pose you hit. That's the first pose that's called for. And it's that first impression you need with the judges to kind of catch their eye, because instantly, as soon as you're walking on stage, they're making their decisions of like, you know, they have like their rate. Some judges have like a rating system. They'll have like 1 to 10, and then that's how they decide who their first caller is. That's how they manage to do it so quickly. I've spoke to them.
Yeah.
So, but Mark, I think looked absolutely fantastic. I thought his side shots were incredible. He's most muscular because he's got those nice big full stripy delts, the nice tiny little waist. The shoulder to waist is insane. His legs, as I said, whole lower body actually, in fact, is completely come up. So like everyone, he had strong shots and he had weak shots. Yeah. But I think this was a really, really good showing for him. And don't be shocked if he beat Quint this weekend.
Oh, I wouldn't be. I mean, I'd be shocked if whoever took like 15th beat Quint or something. But
yeah.
But yeah, you could see it right there. And Mark, I mean, you could see one lat does come out, and that does it. I could see. Look at the shoulder difference in the rear lat. I know it's not a perfect shot to compare to, but you could see that's a shoulder mobility issue from. You know, he had mass. It was what did he have? Really bad arthritis, or do you have a cuff tear? I can't recall what.
Well, he's had a couple of surgeries on it, man. I mean, it could have really put him out the game for good, not just like a year or two. But he still managed to compete last year at the Big Man Weekend. Was it 4th he took in Spain?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and that was off the back of like surgeries and stuff like that. Because I messaged him all the time, and I said, "Look, mate, I said really, because I can imagine what that somebody on their up on that crucial stage of their career. Why don't you go to the next level, and the Olympia, and then win a pro show, and then get to the Olympia and then do well. It's like there's a lot of levels to this sport. So and I can imagine that was a real, especially also I think it plays a part as well when their partners who also compete are doing better than they are. I think it's nice to have that support either way, but it must hurt him to know that he really kind of is expected to be further along by now. So an injuries can sometimes finish people, not just physically, but mentally. I remember the first time Zach Khan said he got under the squat rack after he blew his knees out. And he posted a video. I remember he posted a video and he said, that's the first time it was 4 plates on a Smith machine and he was squatting. Wow. And he said, and it was a video and it was all about the mental side of what it took to get him, to get himself under that 4 plates to squat it. And he did it perfectly because his knees were healed, but he said it mentally, he said it was, there's some sort of like the subconscious saying, don't do it, and kind of PTSD from what happened when his legs pinged. So I really applaud Mark for coming back after that, and it's an achievement in itself. So, but it's good to see him improving, good to see him getting a good placing, and I'd love to see him win this weekend. I mean, possibly with Urs winning straight first, I don't see it happening. I think maybe we might see a repeat of the top 3, but I'd love to see it happen. Of course.
Sergio's not doing Germany, but I thought it was notable to look at how he did look. So this is a comparison from the Dubai show, FIBO show in April on the left to Italy on the right, and I do see much improvement there. Obviously, quality of the photos is drastically better in the Italy shot too. But yeah, I mean, this is a guy I keep. Oh, he's got a whole medley of rear double bicep shots. But this was the post about the timing. So this is what he looked like 4 hours before prejudging. And the midsection was flatter than what we saw on stage. I mean, right there, he definitely wasn't this sharp on stage. Obviously, look at this is beautiful lighting. This is not stage lighting. Stage lighting is very unforgiving. But he didn't bring this level of sharpness to the stage, and it's because he decided to eat more. Completely blew out my stomach and just looks like another typical Sergio showing. I'm not buying it, mate. Sorry. You got to buy it. He says it. Sorry, no, because I think when athletes kind of make these, I think a lot of it is, I think they believe it. I think they do believe it because they're in the good lighting in the hotel room. The nerves aren't there, and you're backstage and you get the tan on, and the adrenaline's hitting. It's like, sometimes you can feel a bit disconnected from your body in the respect that in your mind you think you're not as good and you tell yourself you're not as good, and that's what happens. And also a lot of people, you've seen how many pros have you seen over the years look amazing? Like Flex Wheeler used to look incredible at the Arnold Classic when he'd win it, Yep.
And then every time at the Olympia, he never quite looked as good. And he admitted once, he said psychologically, the Olympia was kind of, it psyched him out, you know? So maybe in his head, I mean, yes, of course he looks fantastic in that picture there. He looks amazing. But I don't think you can, I think a lot of it's psychological, mate. I really, really do. But I thought he looked good. I thought he looked really good. Like I said, more chest and back, but that's just my own personal nitpicking, you know? So, because at the end of the day, we've got to assess his physique. And
I'm going to throw this out to the viewers because I only remember him winning one pro show, Sergio, the 2017 New York Pro, which his debut. But I saw a reference where I asked AI. It said he won something called the Europa Pro, and I couldn't find it anywhere. But he might have won 2 pro shows. I really can't say.
Because in 2018, remember he came second to Alexis Rivera, and then he was second to
Michael Lockett.
Michael Lockett, yeah, God, yeah, Michael Lockett, yeah. So, and he didn't make it. Didn't make it to the Olympia that year, did he? No, he didn't.
No, and that's the year that I saw the it said 2018 Europe, and I said I don't remember him winning a show that year. I remember because I was at both of those shows, the Tampa and the Chicago, and I felt awful because I think he could have won either of those shows.
Yeah, it was close. Remember they kept calling him out and out. I think did he make it to the Olympia on points that year?
Maybe
he did because I remember when Nathan launched at him at the press conference, and he says, Sergio, why are you even here? You didn't even win a show. And I tell you what, I love Nathan, and Sergio handled it. He fought hate with love. I know what Nathan was trying to get the crowd going and stuff like that, but I tell you what, Sergio handled that really, really well. Yeah. He really came back. He was very calm. You expected him because I think Nathan was trying to get a bit of back and forth, like the UFC type stuff, the boxing stuff. Sergio kind of turned it on its head, and he did not what I expected. I really respect him for that.
It was a really good Liverpool accent you just did there too.
I saw Nathan. I told you, I didn't say. I saw Nathan the other weekend at Ultraflex.
Oh, okay.
He tore his hamstring.
Oh, not again.
But he said he pulled up his shorts because he was doing some side delts on the side delt machine. He says, "Oh, I popped my hamstring." And he said, "It was 4 weeks ago." He says, 4 weeks ago, I had a massive," and he got his training partner to back him up. And he says, "I had a massive hole in my hamstring." So he pulled his shorts up, and they looked absolutely fine. There was no bruising, there was no hole. So I said, "They look all right to me, mate." And then went off and trained legs.
Just call him Wolverine, I guess.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So yeah, but he was looking big as a house as ever. He's planning to open 7 gyms. I think he's up to 3 now.
Good Lord! All right. Well, staying on the UK trend here, we got Lewis the Brick Breed, and he said, "I don't think anybody could have been in much better condition than this guy was. He packs so much muscle per square inch on that frame. Obviously, he wasn't given the really pretty, gifted structure like some of the guys, but good Lord, he has maximized what he has." And
to me, he was probably one of the. I think I wouldn't say the most, but he was one of the most impressive guys on the stage. He was peaked perfectly.
Yeah.
He was bigger. He was harder than I've ever seen him. I mean, because I texted him, I think the day before, and I said, right, time to give those other guys a true lesson harsh lesson in true conditioning, true European conditioning. And he says, "Oh, don't worry, mate. I plan exactly to do that." He says, "You know me. I'm always coming on ready and stuff like that." I mean, but you know me. I love conditioning, and I love he's making the most of what he's got, and I really respect him for that. Yes, there's a couple of shots that aren't, I wouldn't say aesthetic because he looks a bit straight up and down, but I mean, you can't argue with that level of density and conditioning. And I mean, I've seen him saw him in the flesh when I took Terence Ruff into that Dean White's gym back in May. And he stripped off, and I was training shoulders, and I kind of looked over, and I kind of saw it at an angle. And when you see these guys in the flesh, especially guys like that, who maybe photos don't actually do them justice, you just see how fucking huge he is. It's just, it's awesome. I mean, he's bursting full, this guy, and it's quality conditioned muscle.
Yeah, this is an older video, but it's still representative of what you're talking about.
Amazing.
So full, dense, vascular. I mean, if you're a hardcore mass monster type of fan, you're all about the muscle and the conditioning. This guy ticks all those boxes.
And if you could read my mind, what would you say that I really like on his physique?
Stripy delts.
No shit going in them, mate.
Yeah, I mean, there were a few people in the show had really, really nice stripy delts.
Do you remember Mark Hector in that most muscular, like literally the hands class most muscular? I mean, his delts are just like, they're the size of his head. each one, and they're just beautifully detailed. And also the tie-ins with the bicep and the tricep, where it ties into the arm. It was like somebody had like cut it with a knife. I love that.
So Germany's Matthias Holweck. He
told you.
sixth place. Yeah, you called that one. I didn't know if he would have the mass to hang with these guys, but even without being as massive as some of them, that shape and the conditioning and I'm sure the presentation, it really carried him through.
Next shot. That's the shot. And the next one. And the next one.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Oh, that's Urs. He stole that from Urs, that one. No, that's an old shot, the archer.
He looks like that Esteban, the 212 guy in that shot.
And this is Sommerfeld hits this shot all the time.
Yeah. Beautiful, isn't it? Beautiful.
Yeah. Great physique on this guy.
And the thing is, he's come up from Classic as well.
Yeah. Wasn't last year his first year as a Classic?
He was Classic in 23 because I was in Prague doing the commentary. I think I've got second in my head. I might be wrong.
Yeah.
And then he showed up in Prague last year, took fourth place because Clarida was third, Seabum was second, and then Martin was first. This guy was fourth place. I mean, like I said, he was crying backstage. He was so happy. You've never seen when he got first call out. I mean, that guy was so happy. And look at that. Beautiful symmetry, flawless. Look at his calves. Wow, look at that.
Jeez, yeah.
And the way everything, it's just such an aesthetic physique. He's managed to retain those classic aesthetics with, the kind of, he's not quite as big as, say, Lewis or even Urs, but he brings a beautiful package, this guy. And I'm really happy he got a good looking.
Okay, so next on down the line, I'm going basically on how they placed in the Olympic.
Also, another thing, did you see that only the top 5 got to pose?
Oh, I didn't know that. And another thing that struck me as kind of odd was Urs won $10,000. You could see it clearly in the check.
I saw.
I thought, correct me, I'm wrong, Harris. Mm-hmm. I thought they said the minimum for open shows, there was some sort of post that had to be $15,000. I
saw that too. And I spotted that as well, mate.
But no, I guess not. I don't know.
Yeah, because correct me if I'm wrong, guys, New Tech have sponsored all the open shows, and it basically meant that because the minimum they can give for open in prize money is 10, and I believe, as I understand it from what I saw and read last year or whatever,
yeah,
every single pro show would at least say, so if it had it 10, it would be down 15, and so on. So I wonder what happened there, mate.
Yeah, Lee Priest was on my live, and he said he saw that Louis Breed in 5th place only got $1,000.
Mm.
He said, "Why don't we just give the winner 20 and no one else gets any money?" And we both love Lee, but I said, "Come on, dude." So somebody takes 2nd place, and it's like a 1-point decision, and they make nothing, and the other guy gets $20,000. No, can't do that.
Yeah, I think top. Yeah, I mean, I suppose I think these shows are expensive to put on. I mean, and also I've heard that like sanction fees on open has gone up. Why do you think there's so many classic shows? Because the sanction fees are a lot less.
Oh yeah, bikini and classic. I mean, every weekend, if you look at the IFBB Pro schedule, every weekend there are sometimes 2 or 3 shows with classic and bikini going on around the world.
Yeah. Cool. So that's and also I don't understand why only the top 5 was allowed to post, because didn't the show finish by I'm sure it was around about 8 p.m. That's what I've got in my head. So I mean, just to let the top 10, because people were really upset because that Matthias Holweck is a beautiful poser.
Oh, he didn't.
And I saw the comments saying, "Oh, I'm gutted. Matthias didn't make top 5. Obviously, he was 6th place, so he didn't get to pose." So I felt really, because that would have been a real treat for the audience. And the thing is, like Theo in 7th. I mean, Theo's a really good poser. He doesn't practice his routines; he just puts it together on the spot. But he's that competent a poser. He can put something together that's always entertaining, and and especially at the end of the day when everyone's amped up and there's a credible lineup, and you've got Urs there and all the hype around that. And then only the top 5 get to pose. I'm not feeling that one, mate.
I'm wondering why Theo doesn't have one picture or video up from the show. Obviously, he didn't get to do the finals. I'm looking at his coach's page to see if there's anything, and no, nothing. So I don't know. I don't want to speculate like maybe he's upset, but he can't be that upset because he's still competing. He's still doing. He's still going off to Germany this weekend.
I'm to my knowledge, apart from the Olympia, that's the first time he's ever been out of the top 5 in any show.
Well, yeah, I think you're right. Yeah, you would know. Interesting. I mean, like, it was a tough lineup. We don't want to say people got overlooked. When you have a bunch of really great guys up on stage, where the second call out looks almost as good as the first call out, people are going to get quote unquote overlooked, but they're not really overlooked. It's just the quality of the lineup.
I've seen Theo a teeny little bit sharper. I mean, I only saw some very limited stuff, and I don't think it was even high resolution, but I zoomed right in, and obviously, working with what you've got just, in front of you, I have seen him just a tiny bit sharper and a bit more pop. I think maybe as Germany and France, isn't there a show in UK as well?
Oh, I looked. I hadn't realized how many post-Olympia shows there are going to be. There's quite a few.
Do you know what I heard? I heard Crizzo might be doing the British show.
Oh, so that would be before Prague. 2 weeks before Prague.
But the thing is, do you think Crizzo's now making a decision because he's heard of who's doing Prague? Because maybe because obviously he didn't carry on prepping to qualify for this Olympia, he instantly announced he was doing Prague. Do you think he heard and then said, "Oh shit, am I going to my potential easy qualification isn't going to be so easy"? Do you think that's a factor in him deciding now, or thinking, if the rumors are true, that he's now going to go and do England because maybe that's how he wants to get his qualification for next year's Olympia?
Oh, I mean, 100%. I think that's a very, very possible scenario because Keone we're going to get to that, but Keone's an amazing bodybuilder.
Wow.
We were actually arguing about this in our group chat yesterday. Big Mike Cox says it's still bodybuilding. A good big man always beats a good smaller man, but I still think Keone is so damn good. I could see him beating Crizzo. I mean, because thing is, don't forget, I know Keone is absolutely incredible, but I mean, I spoke to Patrick and he said it was only 201 on stage last year. Now, if you put that next to someone like a 270, 280 pound Crizzo or a 300 pound Samson, everyone looks at unbelievable on their own or in their own category. But you've seen it where we've seen 212 lineups and you're absolutely blown away, and then you see him in a few weeks later in an open show and you're not as blown away. Let's just put it that way. Yeah, I guess I'm interrupting our regularly scheduled Germany preview to just mention Keone because this was posted yesterday and people lost their minds.
I did.
He confirmed the open debut. Everybody's going open. Everybody, classic guys, 212 guys. But I didn't think he was going to. I don't think he'll go open at the Olympia for a couple more years. No. I think if he's going to be bigger this year.
But thing is, now we've seen these guys putting 20, 30 pounds on, like Urs. I mean, is he gonna be like 206 by the time he hits the stage at the Olympia, or is he going to be ready at 220 because he's just his body is just unleashed now, and he's got everything he needs, and he's literally putting 100% in every single day. Because sometimes guys like Urs are proven that their bodies just explode when they don't have the restrictions. That's why I think like Wesley should go open, and there's a couple others like Ramon and stuff should probably try open because we want to see the best version of their physiques. So like Keone now, if he does Prague, I mean to if he's only like 4 or 5 pounds heavier than he was at the Olympia last year, he's not going to be doing what Bumstead did and come in 6 or 7, 8 pounds heavier. He's going to be looking pretty much similar. Right. And being a similar body weight than he was at the Olympia. It's like Clarida when he did the Open. He was like 180, 185. He was never going to come in like 230 because he hasn't got the 212 limitation when he's way under the weight limit. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I don't think he has that much mass and body weight to come in 220 to 225 yet. That's why I said I think it's going to be a couple years before we see him on the open Olympia stage.
I think he's going to do what Clarida did. I think he's going to keep doing the 212, try and build his legacy, try and rack up those Olympia titles. And I think I think Keone, if Keone wins Prague, I think he'll jump in the Arnold Classic because of the prize money. Because I heard that he felt a few months ago he wasn't yet ready to jump up to the Open, but I heard that he's been encouraged, and now he's kind of got the belief in himself that he can go into the Open and do well. So if he wins Prague, I would bet anything that he does the Arnold Classic.
Why not? It's going to be $750,000 for guys.
Exactly. Because thing is, like, you can't argue when people are telling, like, do you see what Phil Heath said in that interview in London last weekend?
No.
He basically hinted that one of the guys that's competing in the other division should be competing in the Open. And I think obviously he was referencing Keone. So, if you've got people like that telling you, reinforcing that, mate, you're ready for Open now. Because thing is, I think he's going to look quite different to how he did last year, because last year he looked fantastic, but he was 200 pounds. I think this year on a guy that height with the kind of mass that I'm seeing, I think he's going to be either bang on the weight limit or very, very close to it. Because think about it, when guys that height put even 4 or 5 pounds of muscle on, it shows. Like if Samson went and put 5 pounds on, you'd struggle to see it. But when you have to put like 20, 30 pounds on to really be noticeable. But someone like Keone, if he puts on 11, 12 pounds, which he'd need to hit the limit, I mean, that's going to look, and in condition, which you know that Patrick Tour is going to bring him into great condition, he's going to look absolutely fucking nuts at 212. And that's going to be, and then the conversation starts that he's going to be very competitive as an open. So it'd be interesting to see. Do you know what? I would love to see Samson jump into Prague as well, because then we'd get like an Olympia overall.
Oh boy. I mean,
can you imagine that? Can you imagine if Ryan Terry stuck some trunks on? Say Keone and Samson both win the Olympia categories. And then for the first time ever, it'd be like the 70s where you get to see the short guy and the tall guy going into overall. That'd be the closest thing to like an Olympia overall that we'd ever seen.
I think what we're more likely to see, because Dorian used to do the Olympia and then he would go fly the next day back to UK and win the British show, the British Grand Prix or whatever it was called.
I was there.
You were there. And that's, again, the Olympia. Olympia takes place on October 11th, the finals, and the British Grand Prix is 1 week later. I think he's going to jump into that. I mean, why wouldn't he do that show?
So Samson?
Yeah.
No. Well, then again, I think he was going to. I was shocked when he said he was doing France. So, I mean, with Samson, he's quite unpredictable. He's not.
That's true.
He's unpredictable in the respect that he does things that, we didn't see coming. So, yeah, maybe. And the thing is, he's, if he got asked and stuff and like, come and do it. I mean, maybe he's thinking, oh, well, it's 20 grand or whatever. I'll go pick it up and get another win. And because I think he knows that he's got his entire career mapped out right till the very end. He said he wants to be done by the time he's 45. Wow. So maybe if he thinks, well, I'm Mr. Olympia, or, I'm assuming he's going to win it again. Why not go into, yeah, I could see it happening, mate. Yeah.
All right, let's get back to Germany. We got a couple more guys heading into Germany.
Tangent.
Some Germans, German pride here. So Tim Budesheim didn't get the result he wanted in Italy, 9th place. Does he even have any photos up? No, he didn't post any photos. Well, no, that's not true. What am I? Damn it, wrong.
Eighth.
I show him as 9th. It was Roberto Buonomo from Italy.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Patrick's guy. Yeah. I was surprised he beat Tim, actually, because I thought Tim was a level above Buonomo.
And he's not doing, Buonomo is not doing the Germany show.
Well, it was a good result for him, man. That Robert Bromer, he's good, but I didn't think he was. If you'd have made me put money on it, I would have said that Tim in shape beats him all day long. But fair play to Robert. He must be happy with that.
Yeah. So you've seen Tim many times. And this was the first time we've seen him this season, I believe. Yeah. Correct?
Yep.
What were your impressions of Budesheim?
I thought he looked amazing.
Yeah, great condition.
I thought it looked amazing. He's had some injuries that he's come back from. The only thing is he's got to watch that midsection. Because it spoils the picture, doesn't it? It spoils the picture. If you see in some shots, it's like, it's just on the very, very edge of being acceptable. I mean, look at the legs, the condition, the skin thinness. I thought he looked great. I really rate Tim Budesheim. I think he's absolutely fantastic. So 9th place is probably harsh for him, but it was an incredible lineup, wasn't it?
It seriously was. Let's go to 10th place. I'm going to find 10th place was Amir Omaragic.
Oh God, yeah.
And I hope he put some pictures up. Let's see.
But thing is, Ron, with guys, it shows you how deep this lineup was. That guys can come in and not be off. Guys that have been like top 3 or 1 shows, or being like seconds and thirds, regularly top 3s, and they're constantly bringing the condition. It shows you just how deep this lineup was, that you can come in, he wasn't off, and he got 10th place. I mean, that just tells you the absolute depth of this show. Absolutely amazing.
He did not post any pictures, so that's the end of talking about you, Amir, but I wish him very well.
Yeah.
I would keep talking about you if you posted some pictures, but
yeah, he looked good. I thought he looked good. I mean, he looked good. He always looks good, Amir. I really rate him. I think he's like, the thing is, when you see him in the flesh, he's got this crazy fullness that you don't see in other competitors, and his conditions very, very consistent. Kagbo.
Cogbo, who was 7th at the Dubai show. He's reappeared. He's trying one more time to get to Olympia. Yeah, I mean, I was hoping there were some better pictures of him.
I like him. I like this guy.
Yeah, I mean, I had him in my top 5 for Dubai in our predictions.
That was the thing. Is he was what, 4th the year before? I mean, I think he's one to watch because again, he's another guy that's kind of almost hitting that next ceiling, and he's kind of one of these quieter guys that's in the background, quietly improving. But he's, like I said, I think he's on the verge of, depending on what he does in the next year or so, he's someone that could be really, really rising in the next year or two.
Yeah, certainly has a lot of mass, those round muscle bellies that we like to see. He's got some great tools to work with physique-wise.
And he's in that kind of it's Dubai, isn't it? He's from.
Yeah, where he lives.
But he's in that kind of Dubai Q8 kind of what's the word? The environment where there's no distraction. It's kind of
like a boot camp.
Yeah, like a boot camp. Yeah, like Brandon Curry when he used to go out there, and Brandon Curry when he used to go out there and basically just lock himself in, and then basically Nathan D'Asher, they go out. There's no distractions. It's train, eat, sleep, train, eat, sleep. Kind of like Andrew Jack with his job as well. They kind of, nobody bothers them in the gym. They're just doing their own thing, but they're just locked in, fully focused, no distractions. I think those are the guys you got to kind of got to keep a close eye on. Yeah,
there are some good shots. He looked really good in Dubai.
A monster.
Yeah, very. I mean, this gives me like Phil Heath vibes. That shot right there.
Yeah, I see it. I do.
Condition was right on, so he could be a surprise. He definitely could be a surprise.
Mm-hmm. He'll be in the mix.
So who showed up? Who popped up on the list that I was not expecting? Roman Fritz. Where are you, Roman? So Roman, a very popular athlete from Germany. Fantastic physique. Is this how recent was this? This is a week out. So let's take a look at Roman. So this was, it could be the lighting. I'm not like loving this condition at a week out. But
Ron, I thought when he posted, because I saw a couple of weeks ago, he said he was back and he was starting prep. Now that was only a couple of weeks ago.
Huh.
And I know the guy is always in condition. And I know he's coming off, is he coming off some more surgery? I saw, was it? Because I know he's had the hip surgeries, but I saw that he had time off because of some other surgery or an injury or something. But the thing with Roman, he's very deceiving because when I first saw him, I think I was doing the live stream commentary in Prague and Romania. And I always had it in my head that he was a guy with great legs, but like a small upper body. But when I saw him in the flesh, he's a lot bigger than he looks on here. Like he doesn't look impressive to me there at all. I mean, the legs and the hamstrings, and the calves, a lower body looks amazing, but he doesn't look like a factor. But he's one of those guys who's quite deceiving. When he gets on stage, you kind of raise eyebrows a little bit. And I don't think he's a guy that get on stage and not be ready. So I don't know whether some of the stuff he's been putting out has been timed deliberately because it was a few weeks ago and maybe he's trying to put, but he's very consistent with his conditioning. I'd be very surprised if he was off.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen him compete a couple of times and he was always in great condition. So I don't expect him. That's what he's known for. He's known for some of the best conditioning. That's what I'm trying to find. I remember like the hamstrings, the glutes, the back, just super detailed.
Mm-hmm. He's good. No, he's really good. He gets good placements as well.
So good luck, Roman. Hey, of course, this is going to be here's some good posing. It's going to be quite a treat for the German fans because it's almost all the great German bodybuilders are in this show.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah. Tim, Amir, him, Roman. Who have I forgotten? Oh, Urs.
Yeah, Urs. He's pretty good.
Let's not forget him.
He's okay.
Yeah, he's okay. He might do well.
Last guy I want to mention because he's a big giant dude from Canada. Morgan McDonald. So this is how he's looking yesterday. Very consistent with conditioning. He's a tall, heavy man. Does he say he was 300 pounds on stage or something like that?
Jeez, looks it, doesn't he? He looks huge. Big frame.
Because I've seen him. I think he's about 6'2".
Wow.
For bodybuilder, that's like 7 foot tall. That's very, very tall.
And he's got good legs.
He does, yeah. So the last thing, well wishes. That is actually Sunday, guys, the German Pro. It's actually called the Europa Pro, but everyone's calling it Offenbach or Germany. I'm just calling it German Pro. It just helps me remember things better. So
should we call it the Rammstein Classic?
Not everyone even knows who Rammstein do.
What? What? If you're watching this and you don't know what Rammstein is, click it off straight away and never come back.
Yeah, you're the worst.
Never darken our doors again.
So the last thing I want to mention was we had a mandate a few months ago announced by the IFBB Pro League where every athlete who had been inactive for 5 years or more would have to requalify to get their pro card. And the first person that we saw do this, this was over last weekend, I think, same day as the Italy show, was Ronnie Raquel. And he's got to be about 50 years old at this point, I'm thinking.
It's over 50s he won.
He's on one of the over 50s at an amateur Olympia.
Yeah, because obviously the amateur Olympia will be on the Saturday, the pro show's on the Sunday. So they put the events together because obviously the amateurs bring the amount of money that the amateur show brings in almost bloody pays for the pro show. So
yeah. So the reason I just find, obviously, they're not going to break the rules for him, but just to remember, this is Ronnie was at 6th place at the Olympia in 2010. That was his best year. He won. Mm-hmm. He's won 4 pro shows. He was top 10 in the Mr. Olympia 3 times, top 10 in the 212 Olympia once as well. And this was his best year, 2010, 6th place. Fantastic physique. It's not quite the same anymore as, Father Time. He always wins Father Time, but Ronnie was one of the greats.
Ron, he beat Lee Priest on home soil, mate.
Wow, in Australia.
It was I want to say 2006 or 2005. I think Lee won it in 2005 because he beat Cormier, and Cormier was upset, even though Cormier had won it 3 years before. Yeah. And then I think Ronnie Raquel came in 2006 and beat him.
You're right. I have here. He won the 2006 Australia Pro.
That's right, yeah.
2010 European Pro, 2011 European Pro, and the 2014 Ferrigno Legacy, which became the Legion Fest show over time.
Yeah, he won the 2013 Europe, the one in Madrid that MD sent me to. I covered, and Rowley was second. And that was another really, really good lineup. He won it there as well.
And then he came back as a 212 because the division. He moved on to 212. He won the New York Pro. He won the Toronto Pro, and he got 7th place in Olympia, all in 2017. And then we didn't hear from Ronnie Raquel for. So what year is this? 2025. So was that 9 years?
Didn't he win the 2016 Dallas? Because I was at that one.
I don't have it on the.
I was there. He won the 212 because I remember I was chatting to John Meadows backstage, and John Meadows up close was impressive. But his upper chest was incredible.
Oh yeah, yeah. I go to a site called Muscle Memory that stopped updating a few years ago because people weren't donating to it. Okay. I should have donated more. Maybe the site would still update, but yeah, it doesn't always have every single win. But yeah, so Ronnie is the first big name pro from the past who has come back and requalified. This is not current.
Hang on.
You're right. His 2014 San Marino. He says it right here.
Hang on, Ron.
Yeah.
Did he have to requalify for his pro card because of the not competing for 5 years, or because I heard that he guest posed or competed with a different federation and they took it off him?
Oh, I did not know that.
I think that's what I heard. I'm not sure. I mean, obviously we read a lot of shit online, a lot of bullshit, but I think that's what happened. I heard that he guest posed or competed with a different federation. I think it might have been the NAC, possibly, and they basically took it away from him. I don't think they took it away because of the you've got to requalify for your pro card. I might be wrong. I'm hoping. Obviously, people will correct us in the comments, but I think that's how I understand it anyway. But if so, then how are they going to get this Masters Olympia thing going with any old names? How are they going to get some of because the idea with the Masters Olympia originally was to get all the greats coming back like 20 years later and competing. But the thing is, the Masters Olympia to succeed needs those names to get the pull, surely.
100%.
So how are they going to, otherwise guys are going to be like, well, I'm not just throw a name. Say like Vince Taylor. I know he's too old now, but he's not going to go, oh, I really want to do the Masters Olympia again and win that. Oh, I've got to go get my pro card again and go through all that again. I just don't see how that is conducive, because the end of the Masters Olympia is going to benefit from having names that, from 10 years ago that come out of retirement that maybe just slightly into their late 40s or early 50s that have the potential to still look pretty good. Do you see what I'm getting at?
Oh, 100%. I mean, and I got some flack for not covering the Masters Olympia because it was the same weekend as Texas.
Oh, come on.
And there just wasn't a lot of interest in. I wasn't that interested. There's a few guys I was rooting for, but the lineup did not have big names. I mean, if we had Brandon Curry in it, William Bonac, if Rolly Winkler had come back, Victor, I mean, that would have brought a lot of excitement and notoriety, and I would have covered it then.
Hang on, Rob. What's your dream Masters Olympia lineup? Victor Martinez, Kamal, Sergio, Brandon,
Phil, Kai,
Phil Clayhar, Bonac.
No, Phil Heath.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about a dream.
Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Phil Heath. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Phil Heath, Kai. I mean, obviously, just say a sponsor came in and says, "Right, I'm going to throw $1 million at the Open." I mean, literally, what we said, like, okay, there's $1 million on the table. But this is hope because that's going to attract the big names then. Because Phil and Kai ain't coming out of retirement for $20K, mate.
No, I mean, I don't even know if they've come out for $100K. I don't think that would do it.
I thought Kamal was going to do it though, because it looked like he was getting in shape. I follow his Instagram. I always comment because I have some good friends with Kamal. I've known him like 28 years.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, oh, he's gearing up for something now because he's obviously he's going to shave off that awful beard and he's going to get. I hate it. It looks like a terrorist beard. It looks awful.
Oh, so, didn't say that.
Sorry, I'm feeling very unpolitically correct at the moment. I've been watching too much. I've been watching too much Ricky Gervais.
Well, guys, that's Tiger's sense of humor. Don't take it too personally. So I'm excited about this show, even though I kind of see the same outcome. I see Urs winning again. I don't think he's going to look any worse. I think he's going to get better. And I don't know if it's possible for Quint to look better. I don't know if his body is going to cooperate. We love being proved wrong. I'd love to see Quint show up looking, wow, holy crap, and just blow the show away. That'd be great. That'd be because Urs has already qualified for the Olympia. He doesn't need this win.
Oh, it's a shame he can't pull out, really, and it is. And I want to see him. I'd love to see. I mean, I personally, I would want to see Urs a little bit sharper, take 2 or 3 pounds this week, comes in even better than he was last week, more fully confident, because he knows now how good he is as an Open. He's bursting for the confidence. The crowd's going to be going up. The home crowd's going to be going absolutely ballistic for him. Oof. I'd love to see him maybe just sit this one out, ideally, to give somebody else a chance to qualify, because this is the last chance to qualify, Rob.
True. I agree with all that, but I think the German fans would be so upset.
Yeah.
Because they're so, I mean, there's so many posts, like they're in German. I don't know what they're saying, but they're clearly very, very excited about Urs coming to Offenbach. His home.
And Urs is a genuine superstar in Germany. I mean, he is I know he's got the large followers, but we know, let's be honest, we know loads of guys with loads of followers that can go to even the bodybuilding show and, maybe have 3 people want a picture with them. That's the real superstars of the industry, are the C-bums and but guys like Urs, he's got a legit fan base, like an absolute fan base that are really like Nick Walker. Do you know what I mean? Those all Haddy fans, and they're just absolute. It's like a religion to them.
Oh, 100%. I mean, and I'm all. That's why I don't. As much as I would like to see someone else get the qualification, not in a million years would I expect Urs to sit this one out. He even said in his story, I think he had a rundown of the reasons. Yeah, why? How could he not compete in Germany? It's my hometown. German crowd is a 10 out of 10. More data to collect to bring a better package.
Yeah. No, I totally get it. I just, on one hand, I want to see it. I'll be happy for him if he wins. I'll be like, yeah, Urs. But a part of me wants to see somebody else qualify purely because it's the last qualifier, man.
Yeah, I get that. But you know what? We don't want that. We don't want too many people on the Olympic stage anyway. We're so snobby like that. And
he ain't going to be pigging out, celebrating, and then come in and get 5th place, is he? That's never going to happen.
No. I was wrong, Harris, when I did my video about the point system coming back. It's not back for Open.
Yeah.
It's only back for the divisions that had 25 or more shows, which was bikini, men's physique, classic physique, and wellness.
Bloody good idea, isn't it? The way they structured that is absolute genius. And I bet Jake Wood's checkbook is sighing a big sigh of relief right now. Because they have to all hotels and flights and per diem, was it $75 or $100 a day they get or something? I don't know whether they still do that. They did years ago.
They should.
But that's going to be a weight off this. Plus for the judges, I mean, imagine judge. I mean, the thing is, it was climbing and climbing. And the thing is, like we've seen 60 in the classic. Who's to say with all the classic shows that's not going to go even higher?
I think there were over 90 shows to qualify for the Olympia in classic physique this year. Yeah, bikini was up there too. So
90,
a staggering amount.
They need to bump up the sanction fees. Probably could be like, oh, that's a good idea. Well done, Giles.
I can prove it. Of course, I could prove it, but let's see some of the schedule.
Oh, I believe you. I believe
you.
I mean, there'll be a couple that'll be winning more than one show, but I mean, that's still that literally. As soon as those shows are laid out, you know that you've got a problem at the Olympia then.
So let's just see whether I was wrong again. Wrong Harris. Okay, you can see it now. So
I'm not counting them, mate.
No, I'm not. At the bottom, it'll say they're not all qualifiers. Some of them are for like master shows.
Right. Okay.
So some were natural, but there were 99, and some of them are post Olympia. So they're not all Olympia qualifiers, but there are 99 classic shows this year, 2025 altogether.
I bet they put up the sanction fees as a way to mitigate the amount of shows. But then again, I suppose they've done this point system now thing for the Olympia, so I suppose problem solved, isn't it? I bet they really agonized over this. I bet they went back and forth trying to fix this. Because I personally, even though we used to complain about the point system, when it went, I was kind of like, oh, actually, I quite liked it.
Yeah. I mean, it was fun because it's only 5 more guys. It's not like it was sending 30 more guys to the Olympia. Top 5 in the point standings. And there was that sense of excitement where you'd look every week after a show, who went up and down, who's the top 5 now? Because it would change all the time. And you didn't know until the very end of the season, until the 3-4 weeks before the Olympia, when the last qualifier was held, who was actually going to go.
So let's hypothetically look at it. If they did the point system for the Olympia this year,
who
throughout the year would now be going to the Olympia because of the point system? Who can we definitely say? Quint would be one.
Yeah, Quint would be one.
Yeah,
I would have said Sasan, but he went and won 2 shows.
Yeah, true. See, he wouldn't have had to have done 6 shows. But then again, it's good for the promoter to have these athletes in their shows. So there's pluses and minuses for all these points, mate.
Yeah, I can't think of. Is there anyone else that had a lot of really strong showings? I can't think of it, but I'm sure there are.
Sasan's a good one because, like I said, he just kept going and going and going and going.
But in the past, he wouldn't have had to do that. He probably would have gotten, because I think it was 3 or 4 shows prior to that. He was 2nd and 3rd.
Yeah,
so he would have got it.
He would have picked up a load of points. But like I said, the thing is, if you really, really want it, you'll keep going and going and going until like a Sasan. Like that's why Sasan, I think, is really his stock and his fan base is really. Remember when like Samson went to Korea? And I interviewed him several times. I said, Samson said, I said, you've got to look at the positives, mate. I said, even if you've got more fan support and you've got more interest and more kind of people talking about you from being 2nd in Korea than if you'd have won and gone to the Olympia and probably didn't make top 10 that year.
100%.
So sometimes you got to look at there's sometimes, sort of good things can come from bad situations, on the, certainly on the outset, on the outside looking in, that's how it can look. But so.
I mean, and in terms of fan popularity with the fans and building a fan base, sometimes getting 2nd where it's very controversial tremendously boosts your fan support.
I agree.
Nick Walker went from a lot of people after the last Olympia. A lot of people they were Nick Talker and Nick sucks. He's done. As soon as that Pittsburgh show was over,
yeah.
Dude, I guarantee you, Walker Nation had a substantial increase in its numbers.
Very good point. I mean, because I think we all knew who won Pittsburgh.
Yeah, and everyone's rooting for Nick to at least to be 2nd. I hear a lot of people saying Samson, Nick, Hadi, Derek.
That's my top 4. That's my top 4.
Yeah, I mean a lot. That's
top 5.
A year ago, would people have had Nick as high as 2nd at the Olympia this year in their predictions? No way.
No. I mean, as the year's gone on, I mean, I could write it down and post it after the Olympia and say, look, there's the date. This is what I thought. I'll put it on the group chat so we've got a timeline so I can prove it. Because my opinion's changing quite a bit as the year's gone on.
As they can, you know what? We don't have to. People get mad when we change our opinions, but that's what an opinion is. You can change an opinion. Mm-hmm. It's not set in stone. So, all right. Well, we've been going for a while. It's been a power hour and 20 minutes almost. So check out.
Now I'm exhausted.
Yeah, probably have to have
I want lunch.
Okay, well, time for lunch. So thank you, Giles. Guys, I'll be doing some coverage Sunday of the Italy show, so please keep your notifications on. Check that out. And also, don't forget, tomorrow night, 7 p.m. Eastern, is the very first episode of the Meathead podcast. We're going to go live. It's going to be myself and Big Mike Cox, and our panelists for the very first show are Lee Priest, EP09, and Leo Merhofer. Leo is Austrian Powers on Instagram. Leo was Urs's first coach, and he turned Urs pro. So he's going to have some really good insights on Urs, Leo. So look forward to that. Tomorrow night at 7, guys. Please join us live, 7 p.m. Eastern. It's going to be a good time.
I wasn't cool enough to be invited.
I can't, in my heart of hearts, I can't say I know it's going to be at midnight, 1 in the morning, but come on, Giles.
Yeah, no. I actually, at EP09, he invited me on with him and Lee Priest the other week, and that was like a midnight one, and I was like, man, it's just, I don't want to say yes, and then, I don't want to let people down. I like to be 100% reliable, because that's very important to me. So, midnight, I don't think I'm going to be, like my nighttime, I only have an hour or two when I get back from the gym, and I'm candles on and cats and Lauren and stuff, and chilling Netflix and stuff. So that to me is like really, really kind of like private time. So.
Oh, I mean, we're older guys. I mean, if I'm not in bed by 11, I'm just miserable. I don't want to be up that late.
Yeah. So. Oh, I finished Gangs of London last night. I think you Americans will love that.
Oh, okay. Might check
very good. It's on Netflix. Check it out. Very, very, very good. Very brutal. It's Gareth Evans, did The Raid.
Yeah.
Gareth Evans, really like good fight scenes and stuff. Check it out, guys. It's absolutely brutal. And if you like the old gangster stuff, you want to watch Kin. It's Irish. It's got some very, very famous. The guy who plays Daredevil.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
Charlie Cox, he's in it as well because he's got a really like thick Irish accent. That's very good as well. So check that out if you like drugs and gangsters and stuff.
For the horror fans, I want to steer you guys away. If you haven't seen The Conjuring Last Ride, stay away. It sucks. It was awful.
No, I can't believe you said that, Ron. I heard it. Oh, I really want to see that, mate. I heard it's okay. I heard it's good.
No, it was terrible.
Because the first one and the Enfield Road one, they were brilliant films.
I was so disappointed. I was like, oh no. I was waiting for it to get better, and it never did. It's got some jump scares. It's got some, it's got some of the typical elements, but God, what a terrible way for The Conjuring. It has other Annabelle franchise and The Nun, but this is the last Conjuring movie with Ed and Lorraine.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
It was a terrible way to send it off.
I managed to get it halfway through one of the Exorcist films, not the classic original that still stands up today. That still terrifies me. But the one where they're out in the Middle East or something, and it's the Skarsgård, the guy who's Star Wars. Yeah, he's in it. I mean, it was. I got about halfway through, and I was like, I'm going to really stick because I was by myself, and Lauren was away. I was like, I'm really going to watch this. I'm really going to watch it. And it was just the CGI was like, I mean, you could do better on your phone. It was so bad, and the acting was so bad. And when films just don't get going, I just thought, I'm not willing to invest any more of my life into this because this is, and it just, because that it's going to attract, it's like, remember that sequel to Blair Witch, and it was like with actors.
Oh, I like that. Blair Witch 2, Book of Secrets.
It was terrible.
Book of Shadows.
Oh, shit.
I liked it.
Did you? I watched it in the cinema and I was like, what was that? How dare they put the Blair Witch name on it? Like sometimes when they do that and they know that they slap that name on it, that classic, like Evil Dead or something like that. They know that Chainsaw Massacre, they know that a certain amount of people are going to watch it, so it's profitable, even if it's terrible.
Yeah, and what was it? I guess just to end the Exorcist thing, Exorcist 3 is excellent. I've seen it probably 20 times.
I might go rewatch that.
Exorcist 2 was awful. The prequel that you just described with Bill Skarsgård, awful. But Exorcist 1 is the GOAT, and number 3 is excellent as well. So there you go. All right, enough movie talk, guys. We're going to wrap it up. Thanks for watching. Thank you, Giles, for taking the time. And again, join me tomorrow night on the Meathead Podcast, Wednesday night, September 10th, 7 p.m. And, of course, Sunday for the German pro coverage. That's it. Thanks for joining us.
Are vegans allowed on your Meathead podcast?
They can if they really want to. I don't.
No vegans on Meathead.
Well, if you're a bodybuilder, but there's not too many vegan bodybuilders. No. Yeah. You don't have
to. They basically struggle even getting out of bed because they're so weak.
We could have that argument another time.
Let's go 2 hours.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. We will see you on Power Hour next time.